My name is Michael Hix. I'm an associate professor of voice at the University of New Mexico. In addition, I'm also the associate chair of the Department of Music at the University of New Mexico. Today, for World Voice Day, I would like to talk about efficient and effective breathing habits for singing. The singing breath is incredibly important. If we talk about the ABCs of singing and we list A as alignment or our posture, well, next in line would be B, breathing, followed by C, coordination, and D, diction. And E could be, I guess, everything else. So with breathing for singing, we need to talk about some of our bad habits first before we can talk about what's effective and what's efficient, what is a good habit. So I think a bad habit to discuss that we see pretty regularly, especially in students who are auditioning for us, or young singers who are very nervous perhaps within a performance, scholarship audition, all-state audition, solo and ensemble contest. What we frequently see is a very shallow breath, a high clavicular breath, meaning referring to the clavicle, so that it's a shoulder breath. This is a breath that's not very efficient for singing. This is a breath of panic. This is a breath that you would use if you're sprinting and you're trying to catch your breath at the end of that. And so for breathing for singing, it creates a lot of tension around the neck. So we want to avoid that extraneous tension. So as you can imagine, lifting your shoulders to breathe is going to cause that tension. And that's going to impact your ability to sing beautifully and freely. So now to go on to what is a good habit for breathing for singing, it would be a low diaphragmatic breath in which we sense expansion below the belly button. We see a sense of expansion of the rib cage as well as an expansion at the belly. So that doesn't mean that the lungs go all the way down as low as the belly button, but what it demonstrates is that the diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle that's connected to the rib cage and the spine, as it descends from, it's like a dome, like I said, an upside down bowl maybe. As it descends, it pushes down all of the insides that are below it. So that's your intestines, your spleen, your stomach, all of your guts. So those have to go somewhere. So typically what we see is when we're breathing in this low, efficient manner for singing, that the diaphragm descends and it pushes the guts down and out. So you'll see an expansion at the waistline. So that is an effective way to breathe for singing because it doesn't add this extra tension at the shoulders, and it's very helpful, and it's more of a calming breath. Like I said, this breath of the high shoulders, the clavicular breath, that's that sort of breath of panic. And for singing, we want to do our very best to communicate. That's why we sing. We sing to share with others and to communicate with others. And if you're incredibly nervous and you're on the verge of having a panic attack, then you're not going to be able to communicate as effectively and as beautifully as you would like to. So we want to make sure that our breath strategy for singing also, in addition to efficiently fueling our voice and getting rid of extraneous tension, we want to make sure that it also calms our body as we progress through a piece of music or through an audition or through a concert. So I have a few ideas to help establish good breathing habits. And I think that you could consider these a pre-warm-up, whether this is before a choir rehearsal or whether this is before your practice session or before a concert or before a voice lesson. These strategies can be very effective for calming the breath, but also instilling good breath habits. So the first one that I would want to mention is mindfulness meditation. This, of course, also can help calm the mind and prepare us to focus Actually, I believe all of these breath strategies I'm going to talk about will do that. Mindfulness meditation in just in a different way. There are lots of apps you can find on Spotify, on iTunes, on YouTube, free videos that have mindfulness meditations. So that's a great thing to do before a concert, before a lesson, to help you focus your mind and also get your breath under you. Another piece of advice would be the 4-7-8 breath work method. So that's inhaling for 4, suspending your breath or holding your breath for 7 counts, and then releasing your breath for 8 counts, so that you're doubling the length of the release of your breath versus the shorter half the length of the inhalation. So this also really calms the body, this calms the mind, and helps us focus for the task at hand, which is singing. So I really would recommend both of those before you even sing a note. Another great one is a hiss. So you can inhale, really being mindful and being conscious of that low diaphragmatic breath down by the belly button and below, and then hissing out that breath for as long as possible. Again, this is a great sort of pre-warm-up. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that anytime you're having problems with a piece of music, a particular passage in a piece for choir, or a piece that you're working on as a solo singer, you might want to go back through those ABCs again and ask yourself first, how's my posture? How's my alignment? And then B of the ABCs would be breathing. And if you're really struggling with a phrase, maybe that high note just isn't coming out the way you want, or you're struggling with making the phrase, after you've evaluated your alignment, your posture, then go back and evaluate your breathing and ask yourself, is the breath that I'm taking calm? Is it setting me up for success? Or is it tense? Is it a very nervous breath? So those are my ideas from a very basic perspective on breath. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day and that you learn a lot as part of World Voice Day.